No, it wasn't great excitement. I was put out there to either sink or swim, so it wasn't exciting to me, but it was frightening. But we had only had the pilot in August, about August the 15th, something like 17th, something like that, we had the pilot. And on September 22nd, we went on the air. And I was making them as fast as I could, but we were losing a day a week. The production was 6 days, and we only had five and a half to shoot them, so we were losing week time. And we knew we were going to run out of shows to put on in a couple of months. And that's where they came up with the idea of the brother. So he could do one, I could do one, we could do one together, that sort of thing. And they looked at a lot of people. One day they brought Jack Kelly out at lunch. They were on the back lot at Warner's, and we did a stand-up interview, just the two of us, not an interview, but just see how we compared, and we were laughing and joking and whatever. And they hired Kelly and to play Bart, Maverick. Oh yeah, we had great fun. Yeah, Jack and I got along well. Jack had a problem. He had a wife that was, I don't know if she's jealous of me or what, and they get into these terrible arguments because she would get on him about me getting the good scripts and him getting the bad scripts. And what Roy Huggins was doing, I think, was giving me the ones with more humor in them, and Jack the straighter scripts. And so therefore I was getting a little more recognition, I think, than Jack was. And of course I started it. And I was on the air 8 or 10 shows before Jack came in. Therefore the audience felt they were getting something different. They weren't getting what they had hoped for. And so his shows weren't rated quite as highly as mine. And so she would needle him, and Jack could come in the next morning with a bit of a hangover and grouchy and everything. By an hour or two, we were having fun again. But Jack was a good guy. I liked Jack. We started out with him working with me in one show to introduce him. Then he did a show, and I did a show at the same time, 2 different companies. And sometimes I would go in and do 2 scenes or something in his show. He'd do a couple in mine. And we kept those 2 companies going. I'd finish, say, 8 o'clock one night, have to come in the studio and be there at 6:30 or 7 the next morning. They'd hand me a script. I've literally gotten a script when I was sitting in a makeup chair. And they'd never read it. And start shooting at 8 o'clock. It's a killer. It didn't make any difference. We were both working the same amount of hours and working, and we did 39 shows the first year. I think it was 39. 8 or 10 weeks, we were number 1 show in the air, up against Sullivan, Steve Allen, and Jack Benny every other week. I don't think anybody had ever beaten Ed Sullivan at that time. The first year, as I said, 500 a week. Next year, 600 a week. And then, of course, they got 3 more years on a contract and gave me $12.50 a week. But that was the last year I was there.